Alright, so we figured out a way that hopefully will be our pretty much only means of transportation, at least in the back area here for the redneck blind. You don't see too many videos out there other than having some equipment that's tall enough to actually just lift up the whole platform and blind and carry it over there. We did end up going through, and we're on a slight incline, maybe 15-20 degree incline here, and we moved the whole stand about 140 yards. We used what we would call a sled system, I guess, but it's 2x4 by 10 feet long. We ended up buying some hardware. They're 4-inch long, 1/2-inch thick hex head screws, and then we grabbed the hardware to go along with that. We got, I believe they're 2-inch washers, and then obviously the nut to go along with that. We took a 1/2-inch drill bit, and we ended up drilling holes right through the hole that's in the leg support here, through the wood on both sides, all the way through. That allowed us to put the screw through it. Again, we have a washer on the other underside, and a washer on the top side to make sure that there was no play. But again, here's our 2x4 by 10. The sled system by means is that we ended up having the bottom one was the 2 legs that were the sled. That's what we pulled it on. The top one is there mainly to keep it supported. So all 4 corners are firmly in place so that we're not in a situation where there's any kind of specific tension on a certain leg that would cause it to bend. So that's what we kind of used for the whole system. Again, other things that we used, we have a chain. We had 2 chains. And what we did with the chains, we do that for hauling the tractor back and forth. We got a subcompact tractor. But all we did was just feed this through the bottom, loop it around, and hook it on. Again, there's no pressure. We actually had it underneath the wood on this side. So there's no pressure at all that's actually on the leg of the stand. It's all on the wood. And with the crisscross of the wood here, it caused no damage at all. So when it's tugging on it, it would just tug the wood. What we did do is for the 2x4 by 10, we have brush in open field. Again, I'd highly recommend you not doing this system if your incline is very steep, you're going through trenches or ravines. This is a fairly level field. There's brush, there's small trees. This did push right over any kind of 6-foot trees and bushes easily, but most of the time when you're in this scenario, you want it to be as free as possible of any kind of obstructions. So we use this to wrap around from one corner to the next. We did the same thing that we did at that corner, at the opposite corner, and then we had another chain that we just went through, and we looped that. Actually, we didn't. We were going to originally planning on it, but we used that just to hook on to the, we have a trailer hitch that goes on the back of the tractor, and it's a metal curved hitch that we had, and then we put it through this pin, so this attachment wasn't on here at the time. We put it through the pin, and you just loop the chain through that. And I'll actually dig through the bag real quick to show you what that is. You don't have to follow me over there. A quick and easy pin that you slip through. So you can put the chain through right away, and then you can just go and attach it through like that. Simple as that. The tug, there is a spot that if you wanted to put a pin through there, just to ensure this won't slide out. We didn't have any issues at all. So that's what you put on. You put the chain through there, and we literally put it in low gear and just went 1 mile an hour from point A to point B, making sure we're careful that there wasn't a slope or a hill that would cause it to fall or catch. That would put us in a situation where it would tug in one direction abruptly. So kind of going back to where we were when we ended up having it in the ground. Right, all four corners had these big stakes. All right, so we had to get that removed. We again used the chain, and we looped that around. And this was the head is sticking out. I usually leave a little bit out. You don't want it to be a trip hazard, but I don't know, I just feel weird about anchoring this all the way down into the ground and not having access to it. So I leave a few inches usually when I anchor this down, as you can see by the rust or the dirt that's on there. And I just looped it around there, hooked it on. We put this part of the chain around the bucket, and the bucket just slid it real easily out of the ground. So no stress, no frustrations, no overstraining yourself. And then when we had all four corners up, what we did to get this wood underneath and lined up is we actually took ratchet straps. We did use the bucket to get up to the bottom of the platform, and on the frame, if you can picture this being the frame underneath, right underneath the platform, the body of the stand, we just looped it around once with the ratchet strap, looped it around the other side, and we just connected them. And when we connected them together with the loops, we attached that to the bucket. And with that, we backed up enough just to bring it up off the ground so we can work underneath it. Again, you got to be safe, make sure you're doing the right things. You know, it doesn't hurt to have a couple ratchet straps on there to make sure that they can hold the weight. The stand itself, I believe, is about, the platform is 400 pounds or close to it, a little bit less. I think the stand's somewhere in the 300 range. So you're talking, you know, 700 to 800 pounds. So again, use the proper equipment to make sure that nothing's going to break for you. The other thing that we had going on is there's an auger that's set right in the middle. Again, that was already preset. We just took the bolts out, and this auger was sitting in the middle, so we took the bolt out of there, and we use this for the driving of the stakes. But we just put the handle in here, and we just twisted it around the opposite way. Again, you know, it was frustrating if there was a lot of weeds around because it obstructed a little bit and wrapped around. You kind of clear out around that area to make it easier for yourself, but you just do the opposite, obviously, way and retract it up. And again, that came out fairly easy as well. So right now what we need to do is we want to take the bolts out, nuts, and we need to get these legs on the ground so that we can level it off. So we're going to go through and we're going to actually start.